I'm going live with it. So
All right, it says you're live.
okay. Yeah, it says I'm live, but I think it's the wrong one. Oh no, this one's the current one, I think. Oh no, this is the wrong one. Okay. Hopefully it goes live now. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day so far. Welcome to HSFL Paranormal Live. I'm here live with Boomer Rock. We are going to be bringing up a new live stream show called Let's Talk About It. It's going to be a forum of our peers basically talking about different paranormal hot topics and something new I want to try out here on my channel. Today's is going to be, yes, now I am ready. I have the current live stream up. Hopefully nobody else gets confused, and I'm sorry I by accidentally hit the button at the wrong time. Should be the current live stream up. We have 18 people already in the house, so that's a great sign.
Awesome.
Hey, what's up, Donna Ranky? We got Mary Nettle. We got Mystic Angel Christina. We have Will B. We have Donna Ranky. We have Gail B. We have Melissa Reborn Nursery. We have Stephanie Ferrante. Taste with Tasha 89 Mattel. We have Diary of Her Mind. Canadian Witches. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Jeanette Moore, how's it going? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Just waiting on Brian's Paranormal. So today's topic is going to be, where do we go from here? And that has to pertain to, do you believe in the afterlife? Do you believe that there's something about, do you believe that there's life after death? And so that's why I grabbed that title. That's why I created this. This is the first time I thought, I'm just thinking of some new ideas for the channel, some new hot topic ideas. So I do hope you enjoy. I'm gonna probably, hey, what's going on? 420 out Iron Horse. Welcome. Thank
Iron
you.
Horse, what's up?
We have Christine and Son Ghost Squad. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So, guys, we are going to be talking about life after death. And so, Boomer, what is your thought about life after death, and where do we go from here?
Well, as far as first of all, I do believe there is a life after death. There's many different I guess the word would be variations of it. In fact, as far as my experiences, I've experienced moments where I'd have these memories of previous life. So that's one aspect of life after death. The fact that I believe that I don't know if it's an option, but it, like if it's like if it's something we can choose, or if it's something that just happens. But I believe you can either three things can happen once our spirits leave our body. We can be what I like to refer to as recycled into a different life. We're either bound to live the same life over and over again on different planes, or we can live another life totally different on this plane, or you can be crossed over into the spirit realm, which I believe exists through personal experiences, being an empath and clairvoyant. And another thing, I think it's either by personal option or whatever. I don't like the word option, but I can't think of the word I want to use. But there's the possibility of being living out your spirit life still bound to the earth in the physical realm as well. So there's three different aspects that I believe in that exist after our human lives, have been expired, But I wish I could have put it more eloquently, but
No,
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people that don't even believe there is an afterlife. Like they believe, like, once we're gone, we're gone. Kind of like putting the old Ford in the junkyard, and that's the end of it. But yeah.
well, thank you guys. Yeah, absolutely. Iron Horse said it pretty much what I was thinking. It made a lot of sense for what you just said, and I full-heartedly, well, because of my faith in God and the Bible, and there is an afterlife. And and it's dependent on your actions in life is how your afterlife is going to continue when you pass. And whether you go to the good place or the bad place depends entirely on you and your actions. And I do believe that some of the bad actions holds you in a state of purgatory, and that's a plane of existence that I think that people get stuck here on earth until they're allowed to be able to seek final judgment. But that's solely based on opinion. I have no idea. When I died back in 2013, I saw that white light, and it freaked me out, to be honest. And it was for only a brief second. Even though I thought it was just merely seconds, it was over 4.5 minutes of me going in and out of cardiac arrest from the car accident. And the longest period I actually died within that 4.5 minutes was 2 minutes. And I don't know if it was a release of DMT or a release of serotonin and dopamine to cause a chemical reaction. But it's definitely up to interpretation of what that actually could have been. I do believe that there are spiritual forces like angels and demons that were never human, and I mean, among other things. But I definitely believe that there is life after death, and it solely depends on the person's actions in life, is how their afterlife ends up. And I could be wrong, but that's my opinion.
That's
just here watching my grandbabies are playing TP. I built them out of broomsticks and tablecloth. Nice. Hey, how's it going? Presence of the Unknown. Guys, make sure to go grab that channel. Presence of the Unknown is our paranormal teams channel here in the Central Coast of California. Definitely,
hey, Joe.
And you go and subscribe over to Joe's channel, which I'm a part of as well. We're co-owners and we're ghost hunters and paranormal investigators. We kind of do a little bit of urban exploration as well. Hey, Kelsey's Paranormal, how's it going? Let's see. We have Shannon, how's it going? Welcome. We have Exploring with Dave Eslander, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. We have Anita G, Hillbilly Haven. So many great channels. What the Paranormal, also great to see you. Let's see. Boomer's up here right now. We currently don't have Brian's Paranormal on here just yet. He will be joining us for the discussion. So what I wanted to do, now that Boomer and I kind of shared our 2 cents about what we thought about life after death, I do want to do the paranormal call-in show if it's possible. So I do want to grab that number so people can phone in.
Damn, I'm using my phone for this. I can't call in.
You're right. I think this is the phone. Let's see. I think this is the number here. God, sometimes Google Voice is really, really confusing. Okay, yep, I got the number right here, guys. Please don't abuse it. If somebody's calling, don't try to call in at the same time. Please be respectful of the people calling in. If you can't, for whatever reason, control your behavior, if you decide to want to try to troll this, then I'll just disable the number and we can move on to something else. So I'm going to experiment with this. I've had issues with it before and I've had to disable a couple numbers. But when you dial in, please say your channel name. Once somebody picks up, do not try to call in while somebody else is live. And we'll try to do this here soon. So try to do a few phone calls, see if everything works smoothly. And here we go. Has coded 4 times since she was born with the plastic lung syndrome. Ooh. And she says she saw the white light.
Heard of that.
Talk about it. Jeez, that sounds awful. My youngest kid has been able to see as long as I can remember. They are now 17, 18. My daughter attempted suicide a couple of weeks ago, and since then she has been bombarded with spirits. Hey, Foxy, how's it going? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. All right, guys. So here's the phone number. It is hot. Please call in, and I will. I'll have you guys come up live and share what you think about the afterlife and where do we go from here. So that paranormal call-in number is hot. Haunted by Haunted is in the house. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Who is going to be our first victim? I mean, person calling in. Mary Nettle is in the house. We have Foxy, Mystic Angel, Haunted by Haunted. This is a pretty good turnout so far. Guys, please remember to share this out. We have 23 people in the house. Thank you so much. I definitely think we can get some more people in here. I haven't shared it out myself, so I'm actually kind of happy with the turnout. But let's, I'm going to share this out to my community post. All right, so I did share that out to the community post, and I'm going to share it out to my Facebook real quick. Ooh, we got a first call from Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
Let's see. Hello? Sorry about that. It wasn't allowing me to answer it from my, if you want to try to call back in, for whatever reason, it was coming through my phone and my computer and it wouldn't answer on the computer. So I'm going to have to see why. But yeah, definitely would need to try to figure that out. So if you want to call in again, I did see that number from Minneapolis. So if you want to call in and share what you think, please try to call in again. I'm trying to fix all the bugs with the system. It's definitely kind of strange. Okay. Sharon, no, just try to call back in. I'll just have it answered directly through my phone. Here we go. Hi, is this Shannon?
Yeah.
Hi.
John.
Hi.
Time since I spoke with you.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since we spoke. So
Yeah.
what is your thoughts on the afterlife? We would love to hear it.
Honestly, I believe that there's definitely life after death. That's just something that I've dealt with being in the community that I'm in. I'm the one that said that it's my two youngest children that have been able to see things for the longest time. And just recently, my youngest daughter, she couldn't deal with it anymore because she needs help with a spiritual guider within the community, the Hmong community that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
So she's always seeing like people. She tried to commit suicide about 3 weeks ago. And she did that. She's not been able to hardly sleep at all because all she sees are people and hears things. And her brother told me the other day too that he hears kids talking to him, but then he hears people in his head. But I know it sounds ridiculous for people that don't believe, but he hears them asking for help, but he doesn't know how to help them. They're too scared to try.
Right.
But like I said, since my youngest daughter did that, she's just been completely inundated.
Wow.
On a daily. She grabbed her dad so hard the other day and she was shaking so crazily because we apparently got some spirits in our house that we tried to get rid of, but now only the dad and the son are here.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I believe in it. I've seen it even with my own eyes.
And what is your interpretation of what life after death means to you? Like, what do you think happens when we die? And this is all opinion. I'm just curious to hear from other people's experiences.
What I've seen, my opinion, and also the things that I've dealt with also, is you just you wait until you're called to come back. And it could be for, somebody in your family that needing something special, or I don't know how to explain it. Say if somebody couldn't have a baby or something, and then finally whoever it is that feels like you're the one that's going to be chosen to be special enough to move back into your family, who might be reborn as that child that family member could not have.
Right.
They kind of just sit there and wait. From what I hear, they hold on. They just live in the afterlife, and then they wait until they're called to come back. And if they're not, they're still in heaven. But
Christine and Son Ghost Squad.
Religion.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Christine and Son Ghost Squad said, Sharon, I understand. My son sees animal spirits and tries to at the school and tries to comfort them.
Yep.
So, I definitely believe that we are tied with all the animals and other kinds of living things on this planet, and they have souls just like us, and when they die, they eventually go into a plane of existence, but nobody really knows until we're really fully there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if there was a way that we could just put something on our bodies to hold on to forever and then come back and be able to say, well, this was me at this time, because I know that they've done reports on kids that have got all these ideas of where they've been way back in the day, and like things that we don't even know that they knew.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much it.
Well, I really
Trying to figure out
appreciate.
what to do for my daughter now.
I hear you. Well, I'm good.
If anybody knows any shamans in Minnesota or any shamans that I can talk to, I'd really appreciate it. My daughter needs a spiritual guider.
So if anybody knows anybody who is of like kind of like a shaman or a spiritual helper or healer in the Minnesota area, put the information in the chat and maybe we can help her contact that person and try to deal with it. I so appreciate your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and I just wanted to tell her that like your son, that's what my clairvoyant is like. It's the voices in the head, you know, either screaming for help or coming through with some kind of information for somebody to find closure or whatever. That's part of the clairvoyance for me. So that's something you might want to consider.
Absolutely.
He may be gifted in a clair spectrum.
What's up, DF Network? How's it going? How's it going, brother Sharpshooter? How are you, bruh? Thank you, everybody who is joining. Really appreciate everybody's time and consideration for the stream. If you haven't shared this out on social media, please consider doing so. It does help support the channel. Let's see. Jenny Merseth, thank you so much for retweeting this.
Hey, Jenny. Hey, James.
Gail B, thank you so much for the tweet. I really appreciate it. And
hey, Gail.
Got a lot of people interested in this topic on Twitter, so I do really thank everybody for joining in so far. So the call-in number is, and Diary of Her Mind did shout it out, and I did retweet it.
Hey,
so Diary posts some amazing tweets to help this channel out. So the call-in number is live once again, guys. So please call in with your questions or your thoughts about the afterlife and this plane of existence. We're still waiting on Brian's Paranormal. They're in the process of getting a new fridge, so he's kind of in and out. So he'll hopefully be here shortly. And yes, so the call number is live, guys. So please consider calling in, and we'll take your calls. Something new and experimental on this channel, and I want to see how this goes, and if it goes well, then we'll keep doing it. Love to hear your thoughts.
And I'm just going to sit here, look pretty, and eat my peanut butter cookies.
And these streams are non-scripted. It's all improvisation. We don't have anything to go off of. We just do this naturally. So it's just something I want to do to start doing like hot topics and hot discussions on this channel. Hey, Greg, man, how's it going? Welcome. Tammy in Wyoming, what's up? Just got back from hunting the last 6 days and catching you on. Oh, thank you so much.
Wait, is that hunting season already?
I guess so, in Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming. Wait, are we talking like hunting, or ghost hunting?
It's me, Elena. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, as well as Wendy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No, ASMR.
Con is in the house. What is up, Mudcon?
Mudcon.
Con. Right now we have 20 people in the chat, guys. Make sure to share this out. Alrighty, guys, and the call-in number is still hot. Oh, there it is. Wendy just joined us in the chat. Welcome, Wendy. I really appreciate it. So cool to get new people involved in the discussions that we have on our channel. I am a ghost hunter and paranormal investigator. Hey, we got Nero Trigger in the house. What is up, buddy? So tonight we are talking about where do we go from here? As in, is there life after death? And I want to hear your thoughts. Please consider calling into the show. If somebody calls in, please wait your turn and we will take your call and hear your thoughts and your opinion about what life after death means to you. And does it exist? We got a call coming in. Baltimore, Maryland. We got Nero Trigger in the house. How you doing, brother?
Oh, man. It was meant to be a joke. I didn't want my name said.
Oh.
I was going to pick you out at the time like I was trying to buy a car.
Oh, Lord. So
That backfired 100%.
Nice, man.
Wow, okay.
So the topic tonight is, do you believe in life after death, and where do we go after we die?
Honestly, I mean, I've heard different stories about it, but, you know, I've heard people tell me that, you know, once you're dead, you're just dead until the Lord wakes you up, and at the end of time, when the rapture, you know, but, you know, who knows? I never had a near-death experience, you know, of that magnitude, but, then I heard stories about when you die, you go to a waiting area, and wait for the end. Then I heard other stories that you go to the Garden of Eden and wait for the end. I mean, I believe that there's something after this. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I call that the Disney syndrome.
Disney syndrome.
You know, in all those Disney movies that deal with like life after death and all that, you see the people, they go to this holding area and they're being judged and they're like, oh, are you going to go up the escalator, down the escalator, kind of thing like that. That's kind of like a Disney version of.
and then,
yeah.
You know, you also go to a gate and you get judged for your sins at St. Peter's, and you hit this lever. If you make it, you go to the gates, and if you don't, you hit this lever and you go straight down. I heard different stories, funny stories. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure.
I just hope wherever I go, I make it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I've heard very similar things from different people, and everybody has their beliefs. Every religion has their thoughts on it. It varies from stories to stories throughout the Bible, the Quran, the Jewish religion. I mean, it varies greatly from religion to religion, from person to person, from agnostic to believer to atheist. I mean, there's
I've heard them all. I mean, I grew up in a very diverse I had the word a second ago, environment, you know, from relatives to neighbors, and everybody, you know, had a different view, different idea what happens, you know, so
definitely.
yeah, I mean, I can bend a little, you know, on certain things, but I'll never go against what I believe because of my experiences. But, you know, like anybody else, there's a lot I haven't experienced that somebody very well may have that I can't, you know, like I can't say they're wrong and I'm right, or vice versa. So, yeah, I mean.
Right. Like, we can't judge others based on their perspective.
Right.
Well, like you said, it probably differs from person to person because, you know, nobody really knows unless they actually had a life-death experience, you know, near-death experience. So, I mean, because I was raised in the church too, and I heard many different stories and a lot of different things on it.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, then, I mean, like I said, still in the ground. You're just dead until the end, you know.
Definitely.
But then, I mean, it's just big stories on it. I don't think anybody really knows.
Absolutely.
Um,
I totally agree.
But if everybody is dead and just in the ground, how do you explain the spirits walking around? You know, the paranormal investigator stuff.
Right. Exactly. Like, what caused the spirits to not be able to transition from one plane of existence to the other, and why they are stuck, and how are we?
I can answer that question for you.
All right.
You know, people must believe that when someone dies, a crow brings their soul to the land of the dead. It just sometimes, for the terrible sadness is carried with it, the crow could bring that soul back.
Oh, absolutely. No, and I totally agree with that. Like, and I also believe people who might not know that they are actually dead. Like, let's say something happens so suddenly and they didn't have time to necessarily fulfill what their life was supposed to be about, and they're maybe confused on how they died, or they just don't understand that they're not alive.
They're unprepared.
They were unprepared. They had unfinished business. They tend to get stuck.
Yes, probably. And if that is the case, there's a lot of unfinished, stuff. I mean, like somebody getting shot in the head and didn't say goodbye to their family. They don't even know they got shot in the head because it happened so fast. They're like, how the hell? What the? Am I dead?
Right.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But let me get off this call. I'm sure it's other people calling in.
Well, I appreciate your discussion about this and your thoughts. I mean, I love hearing everybody's thoughts, and it sounds like we kind of I thought it was going to be more of we're going to hear more of different sides, but it sounds like so far a lot of the people have had similar thoughts on the subject.
Yeah, I mean, so far, like, everybody seems pretty much in agreement with it.
Because Boomer before the live stream was like, John, you're going to stir shit up with this topic.
yeah. I was like, man, you're going to have a lot of, you're going to have both sides coming at you. So far.
It is a really good topic so far, and I got a bunch of them. So, I mean, I have endless amounts of material for doing a weekly live call-in discussion show. So I'm definitely going to try to have some more special guests, and not just from the paranormal community. I want to hear from everybody, and definitely bring up some people maybe from other genres of different YouTube channels that have and kind of like feature one or two different topics. And I think the plan is I'm going to split it between this channel and Presence of the Unknown. So we can start trying to get that channel up to 1K, because we're almost there. We're at like 937, I think was the latest count. So we definitely need to get that channel up to 1K, and because thank you, Terry C, for sharing this out on your community post. I really appreciate it. So yeah, we're going to be kind of splitting the discussions between Presence and this channel to try to grow both of them. I think this is a really hot topic. I think this is a topic that will constantly engage people throughout the whole conversation. And I'd love to keep hearing other people's stories. So I really appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. I wasn't doing that. I was just cleaning up my room and watching a couple of YouTubers, and you popped up on my feed. Hey,
I appreciate you for stopping by.
No problem. You have a good one.
You too, man.
Later, Boomer.
Take care.
Hey, take it easy there, Nero.
I'll be mingling in the chat.
All righty. Sounds good, man. Thank you so much. So, guys.
Yeah, and on that specific topic of, he was describing it, the spirits, like I believe the proper phrase for it is residual spirits. I've actually encountered several residual spirits in my life. So yeah, I mean, most residual spirits are spirits who either died from such a traumatic death or sudden death that they weren't prepared for. Like John said, they weren't they don't actually know they're dead because there was no indication that this was coming on, as opposed to somebody who said, who's, dying of a certain disease. They know it's going to happen, it's coming or whatever. What happens is they don't know they're alive, but yet they don't know, like they believe they're stuck in this realm of their own, and they believe they're actually living out their life. It's kind of like a film being on a loop, maybe the last few seconds, last few minutes, last few days or whatever of their life, they're just reliving it over and over again, which explains a lot of the activity that goes on in certain areas where there's been like battles or whatever. Everybody knows the I can't think of it now, the one down in PA there.
Wow, did you just see Alyssa's what she typed in the chat?
Oh, I can't read the chat.
Oh, okay, I'll read it out loud.
All right.
She said, my sister's best friend died suddenly. She wouldn't come through for a long time. When she did, she couldn't accept the fact that she was dead. She ended up helping 2 little girls cross over with her. Wow.
Yep.
Exactly.
Some of them can be made aware of it. Some of them it takes more effort to do that. And some of them just live out eternity not knowing, and they just because for the most part they don't even know we exist. Like if somebody died here, don't know they're dead, I've been living here for 10 years, they may be thinking they are still living in this apartment, and they're going about. That could explain a lot of the EMFs I pick up in different areas of the apartment. It could be one spirit just set pattern for them, because I've noticed that I've seen set patterns of some of these energies throughout the apartment. But yeah, like in that case, some of them can eventually be made aware, and actually, they can assist others to help cross over.
We got a phone call coming in from Clearwater, Florida.
Oh, Clearwater. Who that is?
Hello, this is John with HSFL, and who do we have here?
Little Meadow.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So what are your thoughts about the afterlife, and where do we go from here?
I believe that, some people move on. I mean, I've had family members visit me quite often, and I've gotten messages. So for me, it's, I couldn't believe that we do exist after death.
Definitely. And what do you think about this whole topic, as well as why do you think some spirits are stuck here while others seem to not linger around? They seem to pass over directly to heaven or where they're going.
I've always believed it was unfinished business, or like they felt the need to watch over someone through a certain trial or tribulation in their life.
Definitely. And that's been the similar thing everybody's been pretty much mentioning tonight, is that same thing. And it's pretty cool that all of us kind of, so far at least, all of us have thought pretty much about the same way. Wouldn't you agree, Boomer?
Absolutely.
Hey, Carol out of her comfort zone just joined us. Welcome.
When I was stationed in Germany, and I came home for a visit with my mom, my one cousin had died when I was 6 months pregnant. And when I came home, I had this urge. I looked at my mom. I was like, look, we got to go see my aunt. I'm like, I don't know why. I just have to give her this message. And my aunt was a waitress at the time at this one restaurant up the street from my mom, so she took me up there. And I looked at her, I was like, look, I don't know why, but I need to tell you that, you know, your son says he's okay, don't worry about him, he loves you, you know, and your other son, and, you know, just everything's okay, you'll be okay. And she looked at me and she was like, tomorrow is my first birthday without him.
Wow.
Oh.
I was just like, oh. I was like, I had no idea it was her birthday. I just knew I had to tell her that he was okay, that she was okay, and everything was going to be okay. Don't worry, you know, just breathe.
Definitely.
Yep.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that occurs a lot. I've noticed through experience. The times that are most where a loved one wants to come through with a message, whatever, are usually on certain types of anniversaries or things like that, celebrations. Like, you know, after a while they'll tend to kind of fade away after a while, after so many years, but specifically within the first 1 to 5 years of someone's death, you know, like they'll come around like during a birthday, like let's say, you know, a parent's child passed away, you know, older child, and like, oh, I gotta go say happy birthday to my mom. So they're gonna try to come through to whoever they feel can get the message through to them and say, oh, well, you know, they want to say happy birthday, or if it's a husband or wife, you know, they want to say, oh, happy anniversary or something like that. That happens very frequently.
Oh, yeah, and this was over 10 years ago, but it's still there like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Definitely. Well,
I mean, they could carry it on throughout their entirety of their afterlife, you know, and, you know, come around every year for somebody's birthday that's very special to them, you know, particularly children to parents, parents to children, husbands to wives, and things like that, where they've known each other for so long. There's such an emotional bond that it forms almost like a physical connection, you know, to them. So they always know where they're going to be, so they can come and tell them, hey, it's your birthday, happy birthday, or happy anniversary, or whatever, you know. Yeah. I've experienced that. Or I've had to do a session with people who have experienced that. You know, I didn't talk to them, and it happens to be the birthday without me knowing. And I'm like, do you know a John Smith? Well, yeah, that's my brother or my son or whatever. I'm like, well, they're coming through and they're trying to say happy birthday to you. Is it your birthday? And they're like, oh my God, yes. So, you know, that happens a lot. That's one of the main reasons why past spirits will come through.
Well, definitely. And I do believe that as well. That's a really good answer to that. Thank you so much for calling in, and I really appreciate you adding to the topic and sharing your thoughts on the subject.
Oh, not a problem. I will be continuing to watch the live stream.
Absolutely.
Thank you for taking the call.
Absolutely. You have a great rest of your day.
Now, who was that caller again? What was the name?
What was your channel name?
My real name's Mara, but I go by Little Meadow.
Oh, Little Meadow. Oh, okay. Perfect.
Oh, Little Meadow. Okay. Well, thank you for calling, Little Meadow.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
All right.
You're welcome. Talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye. So, guys, that was Little Meadow. She's been pretty much saying the same thing that we've kind of all been sharing. Hey, what's going on, TJ Smith? How's it going? I'm back.
TJ.
My show comes on. All righty, no problem. Thank you, Stephanie. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Steph.
And
That's Ferrante, right?
yeah, Stephanie Fronte. So the call-in number is live still, guys. So we're taking the discussion and taking in calls, and we want to hear your thoughts on this.
Watch, I'll lay 10-1. Brian will call in.
I know. Hey, Lee Goner Edwards, what's going on? How's it going?
All right, if I could suggest something too, like maybe while we're waiting here, waiting for the next call or whatever, if anybody has any kind of questions or anything, because I'm sure there's a lot of people in there who aren't exactly part of the paranormal. They may have inquiries as to, you know, some aspects of it and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe if anybody has any questions, they can ask questions in the chat and we can try to answer them best we can.
Yeah. So ask your questions in the chat, or if you want to call in, the numbers, Sharpshooter posted the number. Got to say your channel name, and I will accept it. Little Meadow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Just thinking of some new ideas for the channel and some new topics and stuff to really talk about. So I thought this would be a great test run to see where this stream goes here in the future. It's pretty cool.
Seems to be working so far.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, you stole my idea right out from under me, so.
You shared the idea.
Huh?
I said you shared the idea for the title name.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. I was just messing with you. As if I'd ever do a call-in show.
Hey, Sarah R., welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, guys, we're doing the call-ins. So if you want to share your thoughts and
Line is hot, people.
Line is hot. Just got to say your channel name, and we're talking about the afterlife. Do you believe in it, and where do we go from here? And we'd be more than happy to answer your questions in the chat as well. My sister got a car over the weekend. My mom got a bad vibe from it. Could a spirit be attached to it? She hasn't felt good since.
That's very likely, very possible.
Very well could be, especially a used car. Anything really goes with used cars, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Especially if it's something that's been in somebody's possession for a long time, they've grown an emotional attachment to it. That could happen, regardless of whether or not, you know, it involved them perishing within the vehicle during an accident or whatever, which is usually how most attachments become. Like, that's how most spirits become attached to an item such as a vehicle. If somebody had died in it, or a house, somebody dies in their house, whatever. But a lot of times it's just, you know that guy, like, they love their cars more than their wives. You know what I'm saying? That particular guy, that gearhead who like built his car from ground up, you know, there's an emotional attachment to those kinds of things. Definitely. So once that person passes away, it's still there's some residual spirit energy still attached to that particular item, in this case a car. So that could very well be.
Definitely. I full-heartedly agree. Definitely can be the case. Especially, if they had that emotional attachment to that vehicle and they were really drawn to it, they had some kind of some memories, whether they were good or bad. It definitely could have been the case. Wow, almost 30 people in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Wow, that's awesome. Let's see. Mudcon is lurking with the eyes staring at us.
Mudcon's always lurking.
Always lurking.
Don't forget, Mudcon, my birthday's October 16th, okay?
Hey, what's up, Nina Vixen? How's it going? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Oh yeah, they say James Dean's car is haunted, and that's a great subject too.
His leather jacket's haunted too.
Really, I've never heard that part of it, but his car was.
It was in a museum.
His car is dubbed the Little Bastard.
Yeah.
When the car crashed back in, I think it was like 1954 or something, 52. He actually died just about, I want to say, 30 miles north of me. He actually died here in San Luis Obispo County, and he was driving way too fast, very reckless, and a car ended up pulling out in front of him, and he hit it dead on, and it totally just opened that car up like a can of sardines, and he died instantly. After that car crashed, actually, there was a premonition days before by one of his friends who worked on the movies with him that he was going to be dead in 7 days, and he was dead on accurate. And 7 days later, he died. It's another famous actor, and there's a whole interview on it. If you don't believe me, you can go look it up.
I think I watched something when I was a kid about that, like in mid 80s or something. I saw some kind of documentary or something on James Dean, and yeah, they spoke about that. Yep. And
all right,
they say that
have a great night.
They had his jacket in a museum somewhere. I don't know if it was one of them like wax museums or whatever, but for some reason, every time the procurator or whatever the word is for the people that are in charge of museums, I worked at one, for Christ's sakes, I should know these terms. Every time they'd go in to kind of like straighten things up or whatever, there'd be something off about the jacket. Like they'd come in, they have it displayed on one of those like metal type wire, like mannequin type things, coat rack things. And every time someone would come in, like there'd be something, either it'd be like unzipped where they remember zipping it up, the day before, or it would be kind of off canter on the thing or whatever. There was always something like shifted about it every time they come in and start their day in the morning, and they'd always have to straighten it out, fix it up, zip it up, and stuff like that every day. That was something I heard about, like in the mid to late 80s or something. They were talking about it.
And James Dean's car, after that car had crashed, more deaths occurred due to that vehicle, as well as subsequent injuries. There was where his car was stored, mysteriously burst into flames. The car also, somebody put the motor from that car into their car, and they ended up, I believe, either getting seriously injured or killed from putting that car in the motor into their car, as well as other car parts that have been parted out from that vehicle. They ended up dying or getting injured in horrible and mysterious ways. There's so much that was surrounding that whole incident. It's actually mind-blowing, and there's a whole documentary about it. And I was watching like how many people were affected by the kind of ghostly remnants of Little Bastard. And it's a pretty incredible story.
Yeah. And if I remember right, I think there was a close friend of the family or a family member that suggested they should crush the car
Yeah.
And they refused to do it. And they just kept, you know, refixing it and stuff like that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I seem to remember hearing something about somebody warned them, look, you know, just crush it, you know. But I think it had more to do with the people of Hollywood that dealt with Mr. Dean, who's like, oh no, we can't do that. It's iconic, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You know, we'll do whatever we can to keep it, you know, restored and stuff.
Brian Nelson said, would the car have been cursed before James Dean had got it? Anything could have been. Who knows? Maybe as an attachment to James Dean himself. I mean, there's so much speculation.
I mean, if I remember, didn't he like buy the first model right off the line of that car? Yeah. Wasn't that the special thing about it?
It was like a 52 Porsche Speedster, and it was like a very limited amount of them were made. And I believe he bought it straight out of the Porsche dealership.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It had like 0.8 miles or something on the speedometer when he got, like, it was right off the line, if I remember right.
I believe so. Yeah, and it, if I can pull up a photo.
But there has also been things suggested that, like, in a lot of in a lot of the auto industry, just line workers would end up being killed on the line or something like that, you know, and they would like possess the item or whatever too. So it could very well, you know, a car could be haunted straight off the line due to something like that as well. Because there's a lot of people in the auto industry that died, you know, producing these vehicles and stuff. So
right,
you never know.
For sure,
possible.
Let's pull this up here. This is actually going to be James Dean's car right here. If I could zoom in, and that's what it looked like after the crash. You can see that it had like just a little wraparound, probably plexiglass type windshield with not a lot of protection. And when you're going 70, 80, 90 miles per hour, and you hit another vehicle, but especially back then, they didn't have the safety regulations. They didn't have the seat belts that we have now. So those cars were a screaming metal death trap.
Yeah.
And maybe James Dean sought vengeance towards anybody who tried to take apart his car. Who knows?
I mean, it would be interesting if, like, we could, like, channel James Dean somehow and, like, have him come through for us and give us the information we're looking for. You know, kind of like, hey, look, what exactly did happen? You know,
somebody said they redid the car and somebody bought it and ended up killing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that I definitely believe that that car could have been a conduit or some kind of a spiritual vessel for something bad to attach itself to it.
Yeah, I mean, if it can happen with any other object, why not a car? You know, like. You know.
And there's long documentation of paranormal occurrences happening to vehicles. There was, like, I think that show My Paranormal Survivor, as well as other shows, there's a lot of documented cases about that. Okay, Jojo just let me know that Brian won't be making it up tonight. All right, thank you so much for letting me know, Jojo.
Hi, Jojo. Thanks for the info.
So yeah, definitely could be something with cars, and who knows what it really is. I mean, it could really be anything.
Right.
Let's see.
I mean, that's the biggest thing about paranormal, that, it's not like math where 1 and 1 is 2. You know what I mean? It's not like medicine, where you mix this and mix this, you get something good or bad. It's so vast, it's so there's a lot to discover about it that is still yet unknown. And all we can really do is come to our own conclusions based on our own personal experiences.
Definitely. Well, guys, the call-in number is still live if you guys want to call in and talk about what you think, whether it's something about the James Dean, which we were just discussing, or something relating to the afterlife and what your thoughts are. Definitely love to hear it. Whether you type it in the chat or if you want to actually call in, say your channel name and say your channel name, and I will definitely answer it and we can have the discussion. It'll ask for a name. Just say your channel name so we can post your link in the chat. Hey, how you doing, Herman? How's it going? Just having a discussion about the paranormal and talking about if the afterlife exists or not, and where do we go from here? What happens to us when we die? And obviously, all of us are alive, so it's kind of hard to say.
Mm-hmm. And, when it comes to people who have either died and come back, or what most people consider near-death experiences, such as John and myself, I mean, at 2 different times in my life as a child, I was, clinically dead, and was brought back. So I had that out-of-body experience, which most people refer to as near-death experience, where I kind of was yanked into this void. Whereas a lot of people who talk about their near-death experience, they talk about either, meeting Jesus or meeting a relative and seeing this big bright light. So I could only determine that it's different for everybody. Depending on your own personal life experiences, who you were or are, your particular character, where, our Almighty Creator believes you deserve to be until your body's well enough to accept your spirit energy back. So some of us will claim we were in some kind of like a what's that word? Starts with a P again.
Paranormal?
No, purgatory.
Oh,
they describe like this kind of purgatory type environment where you're held until they decide what to do with you. And if you're, I guess, fortunate enough, for the lack of a better term, to be able to receive your spirit back, such as John has, I have, you can, either that's going to happen, or they'll be like, oh, okay, well, your body's just not healing. The medical assistance isn't working to get your body healed, so that it's strong enough to accept your spirit energy again. So they, from there, our Creator decides, all right, well, you're either gonna, what I like to call recycling your spirit energy. You're either gonna go back as somebody else in a different life, or maybe you can move on to the lighter side of the spirit realm, which most people like to refer to as heaven, or the darker side, which people most commonly
referred to as hell. So there's a lot of stuff that depending on who we are as individuals, depends on what is gonna occur, or what is gonna be what's gonna happen to our spirit energy once it leaves. So some of us are, I don't know, some may consider it fortunate. Do you consider it fortunate that you were able to be brought back and continue on living this life? I don't. There's times where I doubt it, honestly. But it wasn't for me to decide at that time.
I was relieved that I got brought back. I didn't feel like it was my time to go.
Right.
I was so young when it happened that I think if I had actually died, that I probably wouldn't have even known that I had died.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. Because I mean, when I discuss that, when I discuss like near-death experiences, and who determines when it's your time and when it's not your time, I always think back to, my daughter. How come, why was I brought back? And she couldn't have been, or, a cousin I lost in a car accident. Like, how do I survive a more horrific car accident than they were involved in? And they don't get to come back, but I do. Like, I mean,
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you start thinking about that. Why am I still here after dying twice, after many, many, many close calls? What's keeping me here? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whereas a child doesn't get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you wonder, like,
Little Meadow said, I don't remember my near-death experience due to being born, but my mom and I went into cardiac arrest when she was giving birth to me. I've been dealing with the paranormal as long as I can remember. Wow.
Yeah.
Melanie Harris just joined us. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey, Melanie.
That's an incredible story, Little Meadow. Wow. I couldn't imagine.
So what's your take on it? I mean, it still lies in the realms of, is there afterlife or if there isn't, but like, what's your take on why some people get a second chance and others don't? Like, what would you say that would be?
It just happens to be like, if you have the willingness and the power to want to live, and you have something that God has a plan for that hasn't been complete. And this is my interpretation based off of my faith. And I believe that if God hasn't seen you fulfill your purpose, that he wants to keep you there. He has a plan. And if dying is not part of that plan, then he brings you back.
All right. So let's say a three-year-old child dies in a house fire. Would that suggest, all right, that child has succeeded in
fulfilling, yeah. See,
fulfilling what they were expected to fulfill during their short time here, and now, the creator says, all right, I know, but she did what she had to do here, so I'm taking her back home, and like,
no, that's
that pretty much how you would view that.
Sorry, my mom had a question real quick, but no, and that's where the fine line is, kind of with like, why are newborns or babies not able to be brought back, while some other people who maybe had a lot of wrongs in their life are. I think it's by some of it's by chance. Some of it was they were able to And this is where science overrides religion at times as well. That some people are just, they haven't been dead long enough to be unable to be resuscitated, where some people are too far gone and the oxygen had deprived them. And I mean, there's so many different factors. It's hard to really talk about it in an entire full live stream.
So what do you think happens to a child who passes away? A lot of people will say, oh, I believe children are automatically taken to heaven when they pass away. Okay, so how is that? I mean, if that's true, how do you explain all the child spirits still here that people like us have to assist to cross over? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you believe that for the most part, children are automatically crossed over and bound to live out their afterlife in heaven for eternity, or
Right. No, I'm totally on par with that. Summer Breeze said they were too young to sin, so they will go to God, and I kind of agree with that.
And I hear that all the time. Yeah.
Tammy says, I feel God has a plan for everyone, and he must need you to stay here for some reason. For someone else or a child who dies, he needs them up there for something. That could be it too. Apparently, and then Little Meadow goes on to say about her story. Apparently, I was pulling her insides out with me. I believe that for those of us who get second chances, we are meant to help others, like John said, and fulfill our purpose. Yeah, I totally concur with the fact that I think God has plans for some people to be earlier on up with him, and so they're not on this earth for too long, and he has him brought up there to assist him. Like their purpose is in heaven. Maybe they become angels or some kind of and it's something to fulfill their purpose with God, but it's not here on earth. And where others, he wants us to fulfill our purpose or our journey here on earth. I mean, there's so many variances, and we really won't know until we die.
Yeah. Well.
So it's up to anybody's interpretation. And that's why I kind of started this topic, to see where's this going to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good topic. So far, we've had nothing but we haven't had any opposing ideas yet.
Yeah. And
as far as, you know,
I would love to hear some other types of ideas too. Some people that don't believe this and what their thoughts are.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that side of it. If there was somebody out there who, you know, doesn't believe in a life after death, you know, state that opinion and why, and, you know, explain, you know, why do you feel that way? Was it your upbringing? Is it your, you know, did you grow into this personal, your own personal thoughts and feelings on it? Or was it, you know, structured within you? You know, those are the kind of things I like to hear from people. You know, like, first of all, do you or don't you believe, and why? Like,
yeah, Christina, call in. The number's right there. Be more than happy.
Is this Christina Ghost Venture? Or
I can send her the link to this on. I can also send a link, Zoom link to her Twitter, if that's what she would prefer. And if anybody's in the UK and can't call the American numbers because it costs money, just let me know and I can bring you up on Zoom or something like that. All right. Hey, is this Christina? Uh-oh. Christina, I think you got to call again because something happened. My phone, like, kind of glitched out there for a second. So please feel free to call again. So let's see.
Yeah, and if there's anybody outside of Hawaii, U.S., Canada, like John said, request a link. It'll bring you up long enough for you to.
Hey, Christina.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So what's your interpretation?
Good. I'm very interested in this topic recently since I've been talking to them more and they've been talking to me, the spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually quite torn recently, and kind of depressed about the whole thing actually. So I've been asking them kind of hard questions, and I haven't put a lot of the videos out yet. I did put one where I asked them a few things. And so I asked them, I said, why do you stay here? Did you have a choice? A lot of them said no, and no choice. So I don't know if, then I said, well, maybe it's just predestined that you're either destined to stay here and roam around or go somewhere else. But then, like, I've asked some other questions. So I'm starting to believe there's nothing else. Your energy just goes back here on Earth, and you're just like roaming around until your energy is popped into like something else.
Right.
Because I've asked about heaven. Yeah, they kind of talk about God. They will not say anything about heaven. They and every time I persist, I even asked at my mother's grave, and she told, you know, like, do you see people, this, that? And they told me to stop doing this. So either they don't want me to know what is there nothing after? And then they've been fighting. They fight like regular people. Mm-hmm. Like they yell at each other, and I'm like, so basically the afterlife is just like this. So nobody's ever gonna get any peace. So I'm kind of distraught about what I'm finding out. So my take currently is I'm very confused about the afterlife. I don't know if we're gonna be stuck here fighting with the other spirits, fighting with other, energy that moves up, because every time I ask them, they say help me. I'm like, okay, do you want help moving on? They're like, to where? Like, I'm like, well, to the light and help. And I'm like, well, why? They won't tell me. So, I'm kind of spirit sometimes don't mess with you, but all of them,
I have a possible explanation for that, where you said, you had confirmation from a spirit saying that they had no choice. Okay. I think that's what they were believing, right up until the point of their departure, demise, whatever. And it's like, it's the same, like it's the same concept as you are in living as you are in death. Okay. So if at the moment of your death, your sole belief is, well, I don't have a choice where I go. Or if you believe I don't deserve to cross over and go into the light, they're going to believe that in spirit as well. And so the fact that they believe that they are destined to be here, they don't bother looking anywhere else for any other kind of explanation. It's like that, like an example, the scientist who believes, oh, there's only one way to do this, and they don't look for any other option. So they believe they're stuck. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not capable at some point to move on. It's like we were saying before with the residuals. Sometimes it takes a lot of convincing to get them to, and it's harder to convince a spirit because they don't have the capability of intellect. Okay, it's pure emotion. They're going on pure emotion. Okay, their emotions are telling them, I'm stuck here. I can't move on. I'm not supposed to move on. You know, if they didn't believe there was a specific destination for them, they're going to believe, well, I'm here because that's where I'm supposed to be. No, that doesn't make it true. It just means that's what they believe.
Right.
So when you come across a fear like that, try establishing a line of communication if they're willing. Try to, you know, it's harder, like I said, because they don't have that physical brain which contains our intellect. Okay, as humans, you know, we try to balance emotion and intellect to come to a conclusion. Whereas when you're in a spirit form, it's raw emotion, it's pure emotion.
Right.
And it's hard to convert emotion, harder to convert emotion than it is intellect. You can always change somebody's intellect. You can always try to convince somebody to believe something else, you know, by forcing your intellect onto them, you know. But it can be done. I mean, I've had to do it. I had to convince a 9-year-old girl that this isn't where they're supposed to be, whether you believe that or not. It took me 45 minutes to talk to this little girl and convince her, look, there is a tunnel of light around here. You just got to go to it. You know, oh, mommy says, or somebody, you know, they'll say, oh, I was warned not to go into the light, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's the road to your new home. That's where you got to go. That's where you got to go to your new home, which is heaven or whatever they believe. You know, I always try to talk to them neutrally. I don't use words like God, heaven, hell, and stuff like that. I just say that bright light you see, that tunnel of light you see, is the passage you need to go through to find your new home, because you no longer, you know, you don't live here anymore, you know. And that's even for the ones that realize they're dead. If they don't, it's even harder. First, you got to convince them that they're dead. Then you got to convince them that there is another place they can go other than being stuck here.
Right.
Right. But so now, do you think it's like a heaven or hell, or they come back and forth, or like, because there's just so many more spirits recently, I think, than ever. So everybody's afraid to go to the light. Nobody wants to cross over. There's so many more recently. Do you have any takes on why you think there's so many more?
It's not necessarily the fact that there are more. It's more the fact that you're just noticing it more. You know, it's kind of like the scenario where, like, all right, you could go half your life without ever seeing barely one white car. Okay. One day you decide to go buy a new car, you buy a white car. All of a sudden, it's almost like everybody in the world is driving a white car. It's because your attention is drawn to that. And now you see them. Now that you've been more involved in the paranormal, you've been working with it more and more lately, you're going to notice more things. Okay. You're going to be paying attention. You're going to be more open to it. So it's going to seem like, you know, all right, it used to be kind of sporadic. A spirit every now and again would come through, and, you know, I may, you know, for those that can see them, you know, I may have seen one or two every so often, and all of a sudden now I'm seeing them all. That's because you're more active in it, and you're being more aware to how much is really out there, as opposed to what you thought of before. I mean, it's not like they're just kind of like, you know, all of a sudden all the dead people decide to stay on Earth. No, the ones that are here have always been here. We're just noticing them a lot more now.
Area that you're in, because like I would think that like in the boroughs there would be more presence because there's more people, right, in the big city. But in Long Island, unbelievable the amount of shit like on everywhere. I'm like everywhere. There's not a square inch that doesn't have somebody talking, and I'm like, what the hell? But when I go to the city or whatever, no. And I don't know if maybe it's just. And I was figuring the city there would be more because there's not only more people, but there's more energy. And I realized when there's more energy around something, like when there's a storm or something, but when there's a lot more energy, the people energy, the spirits tend to, be more prominent.
Well, for the most part, there's no real direct correlation to how many spirits are going to be lingering to how many people actually exist in a particular community or whatever. You may have a population of 30 million, but because it all barrels down to the individual, what the individual is destined for, and what they believe and stuff like that. So like you could go to a small town in Ohio where population 1,800, and the whole town dies in an explosion, and maybe 1,500 of them end up being earthed out spirits. You could go to a metropolis like New York City where there's 8 million, and let's say New York City, everybody in New York City dies. You could end up with just maybe a couple of hundred spirits lingering, because there's no real direct correlation to human population to what spirits are going to be still lingering around. Because if you think about it, the more people you have, the bigger the group, the bigger the chance of them having that particular belief. Yeah, I believe if I die, I'm going to heaven. Okay, so they're going to be looking for that when they die. They're going to be looking for it. Most people that die suddenly or whatever, they're not looking for it because they weren't preparing themselves for it. So they feel like they're stuck here because they can't find a way out.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a popular misconception, thinking, well, I'm in this big city, but there's no real, there's not that many spirits hanging around communicating with us. And another thing you got to keep in mind, not all spirits want to communicate with us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. Out of that 5,000 people that die, maybe 30 of them are the type that are going to try to contact somebody and communicate with them. And the others are just kind of doing whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean Long Island is a very small part of the city, and you could have more spirits on Long Island than you have in Manhattan, per se. Manhattan's got, I don't know what the population is, but it all barrels down to the specific individual. People look at the human race as what happens to one is going to happen to the other, because we're all human. That's what we believe. When a human dies, they go to heaven or they go to hell.
The history might have something to do with it.
Definitely.
People who die pissed off are the more likely not to want to cross over and stick around. And so, and they want people to know they're pissed off. A lot of people died either in wars or a lot of slaves. I didn't know that they had slave houses here in Long Island until a spirit told me. I said, "What used to be here?" She's like, "The Green Yard Slave House." I was like, "What?" I had to Google it, and there was tons of slave houses in Long Island, which, I didn't know there were so many. So a lot of them come through. Like I said, a lot of them that come through are mad. So I don't know if there's a direct correlation that if you die pissed off, that you don't cross over. So now I'm thinking I better be happy on this. This is my new thing. Okay, I gotta better end the day with being happy because, like, oh God, you know, I don't wanna die pissed off because I think there's a direct correlation too of how your last like month of your mood maybe projects your energy, and that's why so many of them are here and mad. Mad, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. Somebody did bring up an interesting topic here. They said, I'm trying to figure this all out. My brother is pissed at me for hunting ghosts, and he feels like all of it is demonic and nothing to be messed with. And some other people engaged on that. And I do know people who are like that, actually. A couple of people who think that as well. Every spirit is a demon in disguise, and people are saying they've had too many experiences to believe that. And people are also saying they are agreeing that it's not all demonic, and it's just hard for some people to fathom. And I've met people who are exactly the opposite. They're like, every time you talk to a spirit, it's something demonic, and it's something that's out there to possibly attach itself to you. And the reason, and people are saying it's from what the Bible reads, and other people are saying before the paranormal community was pretty closed off, people were labeled crazy for their beliefs. Now more people are open to the paranormal, and it seems to be more than it used to be, because maybe more people are open to the thought of the paranormal actually existing. So there's a couple of really interesting conversations going on in the chat. What is
Well, I'll tell you, I think demons are very rare.
Yeah.
I think they purposely come here for a reason. And they're that one reason that's half, and then they're gone. I don't think there's a whole bunch of demons running around. I don't.
Right.
I think there's a whole bunch of pissed off spirit people. Yeah. I actually, Danny just recently, Danny from Chasing Ghosts helped me get rid of one in my house who was attacking me. Literally, I have scratches and scars, like all down my arms, my legs. They're still healing. I have a few scars of something I picked up with me and took home. And he was, from what Danny said, I have to get Danny on the streamer. And Danny helped me because I was kind of like having a heart attack at the moment. And he told me this guy's been dead a few hundred years. He's a vengeful spirit, fucking pissed off, and he's gonna pick on whoever, and you happen to pop in, and so he fucking decided to pick on you, you know?
Right.
So he wasn't a demon, but he sure as hell attacked me, and he didn't want to leave, but then on the retrospect, somebody was helping me at the same time because he was scratching me. I was bleeding in less than 30 seconds. They were like already scabbing. So somebody was trying to heal me. Somebody was trying to help me and the other one was trying to hurt me. So, you gotta protect yourself. And yeah, I think a lot of the spirits, they're not demons, they're just pissed off, people.
Mm-hmm. Little Meadow said she agrees with you. She said, I believe demons are very real, but like Christina said, they're more rare than people think and assume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I concur 100%. Yep.
And what do you think about like using something like a spirit box? Could that influence demons to try to use that portal more? Or do you think they're more just evil spirits or vengeful spirits that are coming through? And that's why we hear cussing and anger through the spirit boxes. And what is your take on that?
Well, that's exactly what I think. I think that the people who don't fuck over, so now they're stuck here. And this was what I started out with. I'm really nervous that, to get stuck here and So they're going to speak with each other, and they fight with each other. I've heard them fight with each other. I heard something, and the other one flat out was calling him a pervert and fighting with him. Yeah, they just fight with each other. They have nothing else to do but to fight and be pissed off, which is sad. It's sad to me. It's so sad. I tell them, don't you want to do something else? Because it's sad that they're just.
Well, they are in death as they were in the living. If that's the type of person they were while they're living, always bickering, always bitching, always fighting with each other. There was a case. I think somebody on Facebook was telling me about a couple. Okay, like they lived their whole marriage arguing and fighting constantly, and they end up dying months apart, I think. And neither one of them ended up crossing over. So all they heard, I think it was a ovulus that they caught it on. Because I remember hearing a distinct female voice retorting to a male voice. It was a bickering couple, like, because that's what their life was. That's what their afterlife is going to be, until the point where somebody's able to interject and cross them over, and they cross over, go through the light, and where everything is peaceful on the lighter side of the spirit realm. That's what happens a lot. If you're an asshole in life, you're gonna be an asshole in death. So if you're a spirit that was an asshole, you're stuck here on Earth. If somebody comes along with a device to be able to communicate with this particular spirit, they're going to be a dick. They're going to call you bitch. They're going to call you names. They're going to say lewd things. Because that's how they were when they were, among the living. They're going to act just like that. Some of those can be convinced to be crossed over if they're willing. But like I said, when you're trying to deal with nothing, with raw emotion, it's like trying to handle a spoiled 2-year-old kid at a grocery store that wants that sweet cereal when you don't want to get it to them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost it's a fruitless fight, fruitless war with them. Sometimes you can get them to cross, sometimes you can't. But yeah, you're gonna come across spirits that just are plain dicks. Then you're gonna come across those that are, full of sorrow. There's going to be a lot you come across that are happy and joyful because they feel free. They're released from this cage, this fleshy cage, and they feel free. And they're, because maybe they were a person that they grew up feeling as a part of the earth, and, I can't wait to get out of this friggin' skin suit. It's kind of like me with, I don't like wearing a monkey suit. I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy. So like if I have to go to a wedding or a funeral or something, I got to wear a suit and tie or something. If there's a dress code, I can't wait to get home and just tear off that damn monkey suit. Okay. It's that kind of feeling, they're like, oh yes, I'm free. And they're happy. And they want to spend a little more time here, experiencing the physical realm in their spiritual form, because they have a great sense of release and they want to celebrate, and they'll come to you and explain to you how wonderful they feel, so yeah, a lot of times you're going to come across the good ones, the bad ones, the in-between ones. It's just because they are in death as they were in living.
Right. Oh shit.
What the hell? Oh, thought my smoke alarms were going off. I'm like, wow, am I smoking that much? It's time to quit smoking if my smoke alarm's going off. I guess it's time for John to take his red pill. Was that your red pill alarm, John? Oh, his vape set off his smoke alarm. I'll bet you. All right. So, anyway, anything else to add? You still with us, Christina? Oh, we can't hear Christina because his mic is muted. Never mind. Okay, I'll sit here and entertain. while John takes care of his mishap. He's still waving it off. Ain't you got a reset button? Look at him waving the damn towel. Oh wow. It was Janet, John. Janet set it off. She's telling you she's tired of hearing you talk.
No, that's definitely my vape.
It's still going. Wow. Okay, guys. Well, while we're taking an intermission for John to get his smoke alarm or vape alarm in this case to stop going off, I can't read chat, so I can't really. I don't know what to do here. We can't. Okay. Hi everybody. Anyway, I feel useless. Wow. Take the battery out, John. Oh, don't use a wheelchair. Don't. Oh no. Oh. This is gonna be epic if his chair just flies right out from under him. Be careful, John, please. Sorry, everybody. Sorry for that crack shot. Anyway. All right, let me see if I can switch over to see the chat. Let me switch over to YouTube and give me a sec, guys. I'll try to. I'll see if I can't interact with y'all here in a sec.
I'm good.
Get on YouTube.
Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, are you back? Just as I was about to go to the live stream. Well, I want to read some of the comments anyway.
Yeah, there's some pretty good comments going on in the chat. Yeah, my vape set off my alarm.
There we go.
It's because I had the door closed.
Let's see. There's some chat going on.
Hey, Kate O'Connor. Hey, Irish. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. So,
did Christina end her call?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the call-in is live. So if you guys want to call into the show, I'd be more than happy to bring you guys up. Just say your channel name when you call in. There is a number and it is live. So there we go.
Why is my chat ghosting? Why does it look like that? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Thank you so much, Carol, out of her comfort zone, for tweeting this out. I really appreciate it.
John, did you realize that you have a different phone number displayed at the top of the Zoom call?
A different phone number?
Yeah, on the Zoom portion, there's a number displayed at the top. I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna be strictly for Zoom, and that's for panel guests to see.
Oh, I see.
Carol, definitely call in, or if you want me to bring you up on Zoom, let me know. What's easiest for you?
Eli. I'm closer than Christina is, Eli.
I have to go here soon, probably at the top of the hour, because I gotta go eat. I can come up, just give me 5 minutes. Okay, let me know where to send the link if you're gonna call in, or if you want me to send it to you on Twitter, or what's best for you.
I think he had a quite successful show so far. It's been good.
Almost 200 views.
Oh.
It's 172 views.
Did you check out that last video I posted earlier? I was reviewing that one little bit of footage, and I cut it down, and I slowed it down. I noticed there was an orb as well that went straight up in front of me to my left, in front of the staircase, which I didn't see before.
Strange, the face that I caught on your video too.
Yeah, I keep trying to review it to catch it, to see it. And I slowed it down and I looked at the timestamp you said. And I don't know. I saw in the first part, I saw what looked like a small girl's face standing about 4 steps up. I don't know if that's the same capture you sent me or not, though. Because the one you sent me looks like it was more toward the.
So the one that I captured is
looking at the kitchen entrance.
This one was from your video, and this is what I caught. You can clearly see 2 eyes and a nose right here, and this was a reflection from the smoke.
Yeah, hang on. Let me switch over to that so I can see that. Okay. Yeah, I looked for that in the video. I don't know. Maybe I skipped through it. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. It looks like a dragon face, actually. If you see where that looks like an eye, where your pointer is now, and teeth.
Yeah, you can see like a mouth, like a half-formed mouth here, a nose here, 2 eyes. And,
wow.
I mean, it's very strange looking, and it's kind of creepy.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, because that would be right at the top of the kitchen doorway entrance, I believe.
Yeah.
The one I saw was, if you turn right, looking up the stairs. The one I saw when I first started filming, when I was trying to use the cigarette smoke, which I didn't think it was working because it wasn't producing enough smoke, and that's why I lit the sage to produce more smoke. But that's where I saw a face as I was pointing toward the staircase.
So there is in landscape, so it's a little bit easier for everybody to see.
Yeah.
You can see a mouth here.
Okay, I see what you're looking at now. Yeah. Yep.
And kind of like this body, like it's peering from behind the corner. I mean, it was very strange, and it was only there for a couple like milliseconds, and then it disappeared. Like it was like one frame and it was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to actually slow it down to catch the other one too. But unfortunately I can't save it in a slow mode for some reason. So when I posted it, like, I mean, they can go in and they can you know, on a YouTube video, you can go to the settings and, you know, select your playback speed and slow it down to 25% to catch this stuff. But I tried to save it in that slow mode, but on my phone I can't do that. I mean, I can view it in slow mode from my phone, but I can't save it like that. And that's when I caught the face in the staircase. You know, looked like the face of a little girl.
And Christina just sent me this one from your video last night. Let me try to bring this up here.
I mean, that one kind of freaked me out a bit. Like, I mean, I seriously thought like an ash or something fell on my glasses, and that's what I saw. Now, it went until I took my glasses off, and right when I took them off is when I thought I saw something like pull back around behind the wall.
And that's what Christine had caught, and I'm not sure what to make of that. I guess there's kind of like this. I don't know. It's kind of a strange shape.
Where is that?
Supposedly,
what part of the video is it? Did she timestamp it?
I don't know. All right, Christina, I mean, not Christina, Carol, let me know where you want me to send it, if you want to call in or if you want me to bring you up on Zoom. She definitely said that it looks like eyes, and I'm guessing this is what she was looking at right here.
I don't know.
But there is kind of like a brightish orb that appears in the smoke.
That could be flare from the light, because the light was on the camera, and I got I got the walls are white.
Oh, that's right before she says, "Oh,
semi-gloss." So that could be just the light bouncing off the wall.
So yeah, right before he says, "Oh shit," is where I caught that thing in the doorway.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because that's when I thought I saw something pass through the smoke. As I'm waving the sage stick, it looked just like something because the smoke started going like it was almost as if a breeze was going up the stairs. So the smoke started following, going up the stairs, and all of a sudden it just like whoosh went the other way, or vice versa. I can't remember, but it went the other way, and I was like, oh shit! Almost as if something passed through the smoke and interrupted its path of natural travel.
Right.
And that's when I went, oh shit! Like there's got to be something there, because the smoke suddenly took a turn, the other way. I might have to review that again, see if there's anything else. But it was weird. I mean, here we are sitting there talking about freaking like people being murdered and ghost murderers and shit. And all of a sudden I see out of the corner of my eye something that looked like something was looking at me over the pedestal, the banister. And I'm like, what? And took my glasses off, and it looked like, just as I was taking my glasses off, it looked like it ducked back behind the wall. So I'm like, maybe I should record this, see if I could catch something. So I went up there, and I noticed my cigarette smoke was being interrupted. I'm like, oh, well, let's wave that around, see if that'll catch something. I was like, that's not enough. Let's go light sage, see if that works. And as soon as I started doing the sage, that's when I noticed the smoke suddenly took a turn, started wafting another direction, as if something passed through it. I'm like, oh shit.
Irish just sent me a photo of his friend that was in Lake Isabella, where he and I had been a couple of months. I guess it would be like a couple months ago now. I'll go ahead and share this.
Is that when you guys went with Herman to the hotel?
That was the day after. This was pretty much
Okay.
a little solo thing with me and Irish. We went to the Silver City ghost town.
Silver City?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard stories about that place.
So this is the photo that he sent me. This is
holy crap! That's a full body apparition. Oh no, that's some dude standing with a stick. My bad.
But the orb is very, very bright. That is.
Oh shit!
Anomaly.
Wow.
To capture that in broad daylight.
Wait, are you talking about the one under the stump or above the stump? Very, very bright.
That's like a rock right there.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Yeah. Okay. That
is strange, right?
But yeah. Holy crap! And broad daylight too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost perfectly round.
Mm-hmm.
Spherical.
That is a good capture right there.
Translucent. So, oh wow, yeah.
That is a bright ball of light. Like it actually took away from. It looks like somebody put a cigarette out on the picture against white paper in the background.
Right. It almost looks that way. Like if that was film, I would have said that's probably exactly what happened. But it's digital, right? That's a digital capture.
Yeah, that's a digital.
So there's no way to manipulate that.
Oh, I guess this isn't a rock from what he said.
Yeah, I thought it looked unnatural.
And he said there's like this pink aura in the center of it, and then blue on the outside.
Yeah, I see it as blue, and it's almost perfectly round. I've never really seen a natural rock perfectly round like that. So
No,
that, wow.
that is a pretty awesome capture. Thanks for sharing with me.
Oh, is he in here?
Yeah.
Hi, Irish. What's up, Greg? How are you?
Hey, we got Carol out of her comfort zone, and she wants.
That coffee maker's still working strong, bro.
Carol, so you have the floor. What is your experience with what we're talking about, and do you believe that there is life after death? I think you're muted.
Yeah, you gotta give permission to your microphone.
Yeah, she needs. Okay. I don't know if it's a misconnection with hers or it's something to do with YouTube. YouTube once in a while will start screwing with people when they come up on Zoom.
Are you on a computer? Sometimes you may have to go into your audio settings
And select the microphone.
and select a different microphone setting because Zoom doesn't recognize some. If you have multiple mic settings, they may not recognize some of them.
Yeah. So, yeah, you go to the little mic thing and there should be an up arrow.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, I found it. I'm surprised. Okay, how are you guys?
Doing fantastic.
Good.
Oh, I'm a lot better than I was last night.
Oh, well, that's good. It's always good. So I have this little thing that kind of happened the other day that kind of adds to some other things that have been happening. So, long story short, so our house is like 100 years old. I've never had anything happen here. I've had like grandpas that have passed that have kind of come to change. You know, nothing too spooky. We have some old furniture, antique furniture that came into the house. After that's happened, some strange things have going on. So I'm just like, you know, trying to understand and, you know, just curious, like, what is this? And that's the only thing I can think of. I've talked to other people and it's just like, you know, heard of attachment to furniture and stuff like that. Well, you know, because nothing's ever happened before. So my grandkids were over a couple days ago, and I was up in the upstairs. There's 5 bedrooms here, so I was up in the upstairs front bedroom helping my daughter paint, and my mom and the grandkids were walking outside, and they came up to the back bedroom, and my mom said that my granddaughters too, she said that she looked up into the window and looked up, and this is what she does when she's scared. She puts her hands on her face and just keeps shaking her head, and then ran off. And my mom is, you know, she wouldn't ever, you know, she says our property is like, you know, blessed, you know, and all this stuff. So she, you know, she's not one to like go to the paranormal too easy. But so I was talking to my daughter, who is an empath like I am, and she kind of looked at me while my mom was telling the story, and she just gave me this weird look. I haven't had a chance to talk to her about that because she's always had the kids with her and she doesn't want to like have the other kids hear about it. But so my question kind of to you guys is, I know these are stories, but really I don't have too many, right? But my question is to you guys, do you think that it is possible after 100 years of bringing items into the house like antique furniture could have bring something in? Now, one of the items was a family member, one was not a family member. That maybe my granddaughter did see something.
Right. Well, before you go too far, I got to ask you a question. I just got an image. I just want to put it out there before you give any other information up. Are any of these pieces of furniture happen to be a wooden chair with like a what's that material called? Like a woven seat, wicker woven type seat, wooden chair?
Okay, we have a lot of antique furniture. We have many of those chairs.
Okay.
But my daughter's outside the door making these creepy noises. I'm so sorry. I'm on panel, so the desk that is one of the items that's new to the house, there is a chair with it. And when you started saying that, I'm like, oh my God. So there is a chair that came with the desk. But
all right. I just wanted to interject that real quick because I didn't know why I was getting this information on the, So I don't mean to interrupt. Go on.
No, that's why I'm up here, just to kind of like, thank you, to see like what you guys thought,
Well, I feel there's an attachment to something there. I don't get the feeling it's directly correlated with these with this particular furniture I'm seeing, but there is something, a mirror or picture frame or something that you may have picked up at a yard sale or a secondhand store, because I'm seeing an elderly woman dressed in black. Obviously she's appearing to me as in her burial garb, what she was buried, because it looks, so she's dressed in black. She's very she's small, kind of what's the word for those?
Petite.
Like an old crony type looking woman. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. I get the feeling there. She has this emotional attachment to something there. There's an item. I'm hearing attic. Is there a picture frame or mirror with a ornate frame, something ornate that's fairly old, rustic almost though? That's what she's attached to. That could be what I mean. Please talk to your daughter or your granddaughter, right? Is the one that's seen it?
She's 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she verbal yet?
Not to the point where I could say, hey, remember that day, did you see something? She wouldn't. Yeah. But see,
okay.
like I said.
But, wow. Does she draw?
On herself.
Like if you put a piece of paper and a crayon in front of her, could she draw what she thinks she saw?
I think that if she did see something that maybe scared her, she might put pen to paper or crayon to paper. She might do that. But like you were talking about.
If she can, try to get back to me somehow through Messenger or something and show me what, either if she draws something, because I want to put it together with the image of this person I'm seeing, because I think this is the person that has this attachment. I think I'm getting this vision through a third party. I think they're trying to say, they're trying to relate to me who this person is. But yeah, I feel like there's an attic or crawl space that has an item in there somewhere, or a small room at the top of the stairs somewhere.
Oh my God. Okay, I got chills.
Yeah,
we have 2 huge flights of stairs. You come up, and what used to be an attic that was closed off, my dad put a little loft, then a little bathroom, and then there's a little bedroom here, which he opened up to make it go back, so it kind of goes back like this, like the back of a house, right? There is a crawl space behind there. There's no furniture, but in this room, There's a wicker chair.
Okay.
A chair with a wicker seat.
Yep.
And my late sister's antique table. The whole house is full of antiques.
Okay.
There's a couple that don't belong to the family, but they all have belonged to great aunts, great aunts, great
extended family.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
So,
just like keep an eye out for some kind of framed object, mirror, painting, photograph frame, or something. You know, see if you have anything like that around, because that's what I'm seeing is very ornate picture frame that could be just generic indication of it.
Yeah, so we have
be representation of something. So.
We have a huge old antique kitchen buffet, which is it's just like this huge dresser, but it's a kitchen buffet. So it has a mirror on it.
Okay. Is that fairly old? Was that secondhand?
Yes, my sister got that from like a estate sale or something.
Okay, auction.
Yeah,
because that's usually where you'll find, like, especially, auctions, flea markets, yard sales, secondhand stores, and things like that. So where you'll get items like that from, and it's very likely there could be an attachment. That could be the item. I can't say for sure, because all they're showing me is this frame. So it has something to do with something that's in a frame, whether it's a mirror or a picture or painting or whatever.
So I also have a long mirror in my bedroom. I'm in the bedroom that my late sister had. Okay. She passed away 2 years ago. And so I have her room now. So there's
I'm not going to say for sure. I mean, that could be who's trying to give me this information on this particular entity that's your granddaughter may or may not have seen. I mean, I'm not doubting she saw something. I'm saying this may be what she saw, or, I'm not saying this is what she saw, but it's a possibility, because I do sense there's an elderly woman. I do sense a very strong attachment to an item there. Apparently has something to do with some kind of frame.
Wow.
And because the first thing I saw was a wicker chair. Maybe they're trying to tell me where the location is of where this entity originated from or whatever. And now suddenly maybe something disturbed them, and maybe they just are looking for somebody that can help them move on or something.
Yeah, because that room that I was talking about, there was an attic there, and my dad just made it a little bit bigger. That's the window where my granddaughter was looking into.
Okay, so there was he did some renovating up there.
That's long time ago.
The most common thing that will bring a dormant spirit out, or reservations, like you discover a closed in room, you decide to open it up, or you decide to open a certain area up in the house. It's like kicking up dust. You're kicking up spirit energy, and they start becoming more and more active because of the activity going on within the dwelling. So
yeah,
that could explain
that particular renovation was done, like, oh my God, so long ago when my dad was still alive. But I'm just trying to think. The only thing the only thing different that's happened was just bringing those two pieces of furniture in.
Okay.
So I have no idea. Like, I've never felt anything in this house before except for, and I don't even think I was in this house when the grandparents came to me. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. This woman, I mean, I don't sense there's any kind of relationship with the family who's there now with this particular person, this elderly woman. I can't quite make out if she was there. I'm just saying it was a possibility that she had been there and something disturbed her peace and now she's active. Or it could have been she was attached to a certain item that was brought into the house. You know, something like that.
Right.
But
so
yeah.
would you guys recommend me like I've already done spirit box in my room and my dresser's right here. So nothing crazy. I've done several sessions in here because I got the new box and I wanted to test it out, right? But the other piece of furniture is downstairs. So do you guys recommend me trying to do something on that, or do you think, you know, if there's an attachment, even like?
If you can do it, if you think you can do it in a way without provoking anything, yeah, I mean, you probably get a better result. But you have to be aware. If it's in a common area, if anything happens, it's going to happen in that common area. And if there's other people involved in your family that use that common area, you could have unwanted side effects to that.
See, that's the only thing that has stopped me from going downstairs doing that, because my mom will stay up till like, oh my God, sometimes 3 a.m.
How large is this piece of furniture? Like, could you move it to like, do you have like a area out back you can move it to and see if it follows it out? Like,
I don't, like, the only thing I could think of is moving it onto the front porch, because our front porch is as long as the front of the house. But
if there's a way to get it out of the main living area when you do this, okay, and make sure you're doing your blessings, your protections, and stuff like that. I'm just suggesting, if you plan on doing a session with this item to see if there is in fact this attachment to it, it's gonna draw them outside the house to the item for you to do this. That way, if that happens, you can sage the inside of your area and try to keep it outside. You can lure it outside and then trap it outside. Like, I would recommend laying a salt line. Once you got the item outside and you start your session and you get the feeling that, okay, now they're here. If they can confirm through your session that they're here and they're talking to you, have somebody lay a salt line, you know, along the windowsills and along the bottom of the door and stuff. That'll keep them from being able to come back in.
Yeah, because I don't, particularly in this house with everything in it, I don't have any feeling one way or another. I just, at night, will hear things in my ear while I'm trying to sleep. My dog will freak out at times. The cupboard of the door of this antique dresser, every time I come down, it'll be open. So me and my daughter played around. We shut the door. We jumped in front of it to see if it would just pop open. It doesn't. Right. So that's the only thing. But I don't feel anything. And I'm, like I said, I'm an empath. But if I can go somewhere else in somebody else's house or anywhere else and I'll feel things. But it's like in this house, I don't feel anything except for.
I've noticed, and I didn't realize this was even possible until I experienced this thing at my cousin's house where I had to deal with this other entity. We donned red eyes. I discovered they can mask themselves from
being sensed,
being able to be picked up on by empaths or mediums, whatever. So, I mean, that's a possibility. That could be a reason why. I'm not saying it is, but I immediately picked up on something. As soon as I saw this image, the first image of the chair, I immediately picked up on something's there that doesn't necessarily belong there.
Yeah.
Which means it didn't originate there. It's not somebody that used to live in the house. It's something that was brought in from another object that they have an emotional attachment to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a lot of things. you said gave me the chills because you were talking about that wicker chair. We have them all over the house, and they're all antiques. We have them up in the rafters in the garage from family members and stuff. And in fact, my mom tried giving me one the other day, and I'm like, I have no room in my bedroom for anything else. So yeah, but yeah, that's all. That's all I was just kind of wondering if.
Now they keep showing me a bunch of stuff. Somebody's asking. I don't know if this pertains to you or somebody else, or somebody's actually asking me, did they find the ring? I don't know. Did somebody lose a ring or something that they've been looking for? I just heard, did they find the ring? That's all I heard. So
when my sister passed away, her ex-husband wanted he designed the wedding ring.
Oh, okay.
He wanted that back. But at the end of her life, he was being really hateful towards her.
Right.
And so to us, we were like, my mom's so sweet, but we were all like, no, you ain't getting nothing. In our heads, of course, we wouldn't tell him this.
Right.
But in our heads, we're like, we ain't giving you nothing. You were hateful towards her, So
maybe that's more or less what the question is. Maybe they're trying to ask, did he get the ring? That could be what they're trying to ask. Maybe they wanted to make sure that this individual didn't get the ring like he wanted. I don't know.
Yeah, gosh. I'm almost 100% that my mom would not have given him the ring because of that.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Lots of chills tonight.
I mean, that's starting to make me feel more like it is your sister for some reason. Because of the questions that are being asked, like I'm feeling like maybe it is your sister coming through.
Okay, so
asking about the ring and warning you about this old lady.
I have this antique picture on my wall of a little girl. Mm-hmm. It used to be hers. It's called The Girl with the Watering Can. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the artist. I've got an antique. Not Rem. There's no M. Anyway, I have in my closet this huge box with lots of drawers. That was hers. We have that antique table. We just have a lot of things. So my question is, just because somebody passes away today or 2 weeks ago, mm-hmm. right, doesn't mean 2 weeks ago they're going to come back and haunt the house they lived in. It can be
not necessarily.
Time later, right?
Right. I mean, it doesn't always happen anyway. I mean, most spirits are able to just move on and be at peace so they don't necessarily feel a need to come back and I hate using the word haunt, but
I know.
So yeah, I mean that's not always the case. I mean, you could have someone die yesterday in the house and their spirit be peacefully moved on and not even think twice about it once they've moved on. So yeah, because I mean, it doesn't always happen that way.
Because I feel, and I've always felt this way, that since a long time ago, I have learned to block myself from, because I've always, there's a lot of trauma, but also I've always felt that I was feeling a lot more. So I think looking back, I was always an empath as long, really little, but I feel like I have blocked myself to things that I cannot handle. Because if I was to see a figure in my closet, not right now.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like like when you're, people who have a traumatic event happen in their life at a young age, they'll block it out. because
Yeah.
they rather not deal with it. And by the time they're in their adulthood, they may have completely forgot about it, but it's still somewhere back there. You know, it may come forward again later in life, like is what happened with me with my, you know, an incident that happened with me when I was a child. I blocked that out. It's the same thing, like with the paranormal. Like you may have an ability or a gift that you just don't want to utilize, and you don't, you know, you want to block that out. Like, okay, I don't want to see this image, so you're not going to, you know, because you've blocked it out mentally. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to.
No, this has been really interesting listening here. I was just trying to reset some stuff, so I'm listening, and I totally agree. Like, there's definitely things that can attach to items bought from other places. I've heard of many stories, including this lady wanted us to investigate this house, and there was a couple reasons why we didn't end up investigating her house. Is because it was just after the murder house, and it's actually, this property was not too far from the murder house that we investigated, and this place was far more sinister than even the murder house was. And she had bought a couple of items. She was a collector of sorts. And she had bought an antique Ouija board, as well as a bunch of antique items. I don't remember the exact amount of stuff, but it was somewhere in the ballpark where she spent thousands at this swap meet. And supposedly she had bought it from this house that the owners had died really horribly, and there was like a huge story about it. And anyway, we were talking to her, and like she was telling us about how members of her family started to act weird when she had brought these in. Her home was under siege from evil or demonic spirits. And I didn't personally go to this place, but I talked to her over the phone, and I just felt this immense bad energy radiating through the phone as she was talking to me. Almost didn't feel like I was talking to her. I felt like I was talking to whatever was there, and it didn't feel
like an entity was talking through her to you.
Kind of, yeah. And it did not feel right. I felt uncomfortable. I felt a very strong sense of anger and hatred. I felt incredibly uneasy, and I full-heartedly believed that it was what was ever attached to one of the items that had been brought from one of those swap meets into her home. And we ended up not doing it because we were so already on edge because of the murder house. And all right, Little Meadow, now have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you one more question, Carol.
Yeah.
Anybody in your family a ginger? Redhead?
My sister was. I have three sisters.
All right. Okay.
But the sister that passed was. And I do have another sister. She's a darker, but yeah.
All right. Just wanted to confirm what I was getting.
Wow.
Hey, Nature Kathy, how's it going?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's spooky.
I definitely.
And just to verify the fidelity, the I don't know what word I want to use, but we've never really met before. Like, we don't converse. We don't, like, this is the first time we really, okay, just for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't have her on Facebook. I don't, you know, I don't find out stuff from, you know, I just, whatever comes to me, I put it out there. You know, if it hits, it hits. So yeah. Just, you know,
yeah. I have a lot to think about. Like, there's a lot of information
But the first thing I'd do, yeah, I wouldn't attempt a session inside the house. Yeah. With the furniture, okay?
Yeah.
Because that could cause, there may be a little anguish on their end. It may be a trigger for them that you may end up, they may end up, getting irate, just like any human. When you mess with somebody's property, they get mad and irate and want to defend it. Okay. So I would recommend, if you're going to do a session with that particular item, do it outside in case something like that does happen. I'm not saying it's gonna, but it has happened. People get very protective over the things they're attached to.
Yeah.
So, to avoid any incidences inside the house in a common area where everybody lives, you want to remove the item from that common area. Best to be outside and do your session there, just as a precaution.
So, y'all are breaking up just a little bit, but I think I caught most of it. But I do want to add before I go that this item that's downstairs, right? We have a den and we have a living room. So the living room's not used as much, but so this particular item used to be at my cousin's house, and my cousin gave it to my mom. Why she didn't want it anymore? Her mom had just passed, and it was, so we think it was either my great grandmother's or my grandmother's. So my aunt got it, right? My aunt gave it to her daughter, my cousin. My aunt died not too long ago. My cousin gave it to my mom. So I might talk to my cousin and say, what do you know about this? Like,
right. Yeah, you should get some background on that item too.
Yeah. Oh.
Did they get it originally secondhand?
Well, thank you. I'm gonna try to. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Did they originally get it secondhand? You said like at an auction or something, right?
Oh no, this was something totally different.
Oh, okay.
My sister a long time ago got that kitchen buffet, China buffet.
Okay.
A long time ago from like a garage sale auction, something.
So this other item was something different.
Yeah, that's actually attached to the family, the one that just recently came in like a month ago or so. So, but yeah. So, okay. Thank you for having me up.
No problem. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
And I'll like anything new kind of happens. I'll keep you guys updated. But I'm gonna try to find out how to get out of here. Okay, leave meeting. All right, bye guys.
Yep. All right, bye. Thank you.
So what did you guys think of this first run of this live stream? Do you think it's something that we should continue to do here, featuring a special guest every week, whether it's Presence of the Unknown or Boomer, Brian, JoJo, anybody in the paranormal community, anybody who believes in the paranormal? I'd love to have skeptics and mediums on in those events. Might get people like David Ullman. So, I mean, it really could go anywhere, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. Boomer, how do you think this went, and what are your thoughts, and maybe what?
Hey, I think it's an excellent idea, man. I mean, this one seemed to work out swimmingly, and again, I apologize for the lengthy interruption at the end there. No
problem.
I know it kind of took away from the whole thing, but that happens. Like it happens to me all the time. Just
something back to people that
picking a different topic each week and discussing it. That'll work. Like you said, you get a special guest up pertaining to that particular topic of that week. I think it'll go.
All right. Well, have a great night, Greg, man. Take care. So yeah, I think this one went pretty well, and I look forward. It's well over 200 views. Like to get some 400 view live stream, live shows, live discussions. When we have 50 or 60 people in the chat, that way we have a lot of people engaging with the conversation that going on, something to build up to. Just always trying to think of new ideas to reinvent this channel and get these discussions going and engaging with the followers. I like to give back and you know, feature some channels and let people know about these different channels that exist throughout the paranormal community. Let's see. M City Angel or M City said, I think it's a great idea with some very minor changes here and there. I'd like to see it again. Awesome. I'm so
I'm sure everybody's thinking one of those minor changes we need to make is get that mouthy boomer off there. Come on. Just like taking over. Like that annoying spirit that will never go away.
I love talking about this stuff. My husband asked me if I ever thought about knitting or crocheting instead of ghost hunting. Haha, it scares him. Oh, jeez. Definitely. I mean, I've had family question me, why you do this? And then people like my dad who knows the paranormal exists, but he's very, very strong Catholic. And he's like, I don't know if you should be doing this. Have you talked to your pastor? And my pastor said,
he's one of those guys that says, if it don't need fixing, don't fix it.
Exactly, yeah. Hoorah.
Marine, true Marine. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
A little bit of duct tape and some silly putty, and we'll hold this thing together. Hold my beer.
Yeah, don't go looking for questions you don't want answered. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Don't go starting a war you don't want to happen.
Boomer, I shoot straight. Yep. Tone down the leading narrative questions. Okay. Lou Rock is live right now. I guess we could probably go do a raid on Lou Rock's channel. I haven't done that in a long time, so be good to go raid my buddy Lou.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of missed that. Well,
I know that. I know this is his last live stream before he goes into surgery, so this is going to be pretty important.
Right, his procedure is tomorrow, ain't it?
So, guys, I'm going to grab his link here, and then we're going to do a hashtag HSFL raid.
Let me switch over YouTube real quick. Hit that link.
Right, guys, so go click on that link, and then I'll see you guys over there.
Come on, chat.
Alrighty, guys. So go over there, hit raid. We should see my chat empty out here. Yeah, go check out Lou Rock. This is going to be his last live. At least that's what he said last night before his surgery tomorrow, I think. So definitely go check him out. Go share the love. Put in hashtag HSFL raid. And much love and light, guys. And remember to always keep it spooky, my friends. Cheers and have a great rest of your night.